I want you to hold this number in your head. 121. 121 case files. 121 dockets that, according to testimony before the Madlanga Commission, were removed from the Political Killings Task Team in KwaZulu-Natal. And if you think that's all, wait until you hear what just exploded in South African Parliament. Because what Ramaphosa has just announced regarding Mchunu raises a key question. Is this justice or simply damage control? Like this video right now and subscribe, because we won't stop digging until we understand what is really happening. The announcement that froze everything this week, presidential spokesperson Vincent Magwenya made a key statement.
The minister is still going to go back to the commission and answer to more allegations against him, including the ones that have recently surfaced. The president wants him to go back and answer to all of the allegations before he can consider his next steps in regard to the minister specifically. And so that matter will be concluded at an appropriate time once the president has, or rather once the minister has gone back to the commission and the commission has given clear findings against the minister.
So as we speak right now, in the interim report, the commission doesn't say anything about prima facie evidence against Senzo Mchunu?
No, it doesn't at this stage.
Okay, that doesn't stop the president from acting though. Why is the president not taking action against Senzo Mchunu? And I'm asking that question because take what the commission has done now. There are certain people who have not even appeared before the Madlanga Commission, and yet the Madlanga Commission has now recommended that those people, they must be investigated. So the fact that the minister has to go back to the commission doesn't mean that the president is hamstrung to act against him. Otherwise, the Madlanga Commission also wouldn't have recommended that people who haven't even appeared before them be investigated.
No, indeed, Clement, but we also have to appreciate that what the commission has done is in line with the terms of reference. It's not just out of its own initiative. It's there embedded in the terms of reference that it can make referrals and it can make recommendations on certain matters to be referred for further investigations. Clement, the minister is a politician. The president, to your point, has the power to act against him and to decide what happens with him in this regard. There's also nothing prohibiting the president from allowing the minister to go through due process in the form of the commission before he considers any form of action. So you could say that if he acted now, he will be acting on a matter that's incomplete. The commission has not given the president a firm finding against the minister.
President Cyril Ramaphosa will take action against the suspended police minister, Senzo Mchunu. But there's an important detail. That action will have to wait. Wait for what? Until the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry finishes completely. According to Magwenya on the Clement Manyathela show, before he acts, and he will act decisively, the president must ensure that the commission concludes its work so that his decision is informed, fair, and beyond any reproach. And if you know anything about commissions in South Africa, you know they can last months, even years. So basically, according to the official position, there are serious concerns about Mchunu, but there will be no movement until the formal process concludes. This raises the question, is it legal prudence, or what critics see as delay while evidence may deteriorate? Parliament explodes, plenty of rotten apples. Because in the same week, in the same building, things were said that deserved national attention. Tiyani Hlungwani, former finance chief of crime intelligence, addressed the ad hoc committee of Parliament, and what he said should generate immediate debate.
Maybe let me say it this way. The matter is being investigated, as you might know. It is being investigated.
Yeah, but remember, we're also investigating here. So we can't be told that the matter is investigated as if we're just doing an academic exercise.
Yeah.
Who told you that Mkhwanazi and Masemula received 100,000? Because, Mr. Hlungwani, we're not really interested in words. We want proof because we're probing.
Yes.
And we want to take things further.
Yeah.
So kindly help us with evidence showing that they received 100,000 each.
I'll answer it this way, sir. What I can say is that, and General Masemula knows this, there was at some point a warning statement, and Mr. Robert McBride at the time was removed, as you know, and there was disruption in that investigation. So what I will say is that I won't be able to reveal my source, but I implore you to follow up on the investigation.
No. I thought you are coming here to assist this investigation. So you can't now, when we ask for further particulars, tell us that the matter is being investigated elsewhere, as if here we're not we're doing idols. We're not doing idols here. We're investigating.
I agree, sir, that you are investigating. And as I'm saying that this matter, unless you want to do...
In an exchange with the committee chairperson, Molapi Leganyane, Hlungwani stated verbatim, "There are plenty of rotten apples within SAPS." He's not talking about isolated cases. He is alleging a systemic pattern of corruption among senior officials. And he doesn't stop there. Hlungwani describes deep divisions. They are very divided, and a house divided cannot stand. The divisions are caused by the battle for control of crime intelligence and the Secret Service account. Like this video if you believe this needs an immediate transparent investigation. 121 dockets and 5 imminent arrest warrants. Let's go back to that number that opened the video. 121 dockets. According to testimony and public briefings, the task team was disbanded, and the 121 dockets were removed from the unit and transferred to senior SAPS management.
Indeed. Good morning to you, Ayanda, and to the viewers at home. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be of much assistance this morning as we wait to see who will take the stand at 9:30 a.m. Remember, because of those security concerns, the Commission has adopted a different approach and will only share the name of the individual as and when it is necessary. We are waiting for 9:30 a.m. this morning to see who this witness will be that will continue with the evidence before this particular probe. We don't know if it is in line with the current theme that we've seen outplaying, but it definitely should be part of phase 2 of the evidence, which is implicated persons getting their right to be heard and then, of course, being tested in that probing kind of questions that flows from cross-examination, such as that of Major General Lesetja Sonona, who completed his testimony yesterday with the Commission's bench, if I can put it, reaching their limit with his quote-unquote evasiveness, as they described it. You saw a familiar pattern and continuing throughout the end of his testimony where questions got a bit tough and he seemed to not remember or have any recollection of the finer details. A simple example of that was the text messages, which I think took quite some time to get through, about him asking Kat Matala via WhatsApp, that is the alleged cartel member, have we finalized the contracts, an emphasis on the word we. He attempted to distance himself yet again from that we, stating that it was a mere error, which I think created a bit of annoyance for the Commission's bench, because I think they asked him at that point to take them serious, because it was quite clear that that message was showing an interest in the contracts, leading to the suggestion that perhaps the alleged benefit from that particular contract would have been for Major General Lesetja Sonona as well, not just that alleged cartel member, which would inform why he was carrying on with that assistance even after March of 2025, when he learned of his alleged criminal dealings. We saw that concurrent theme continue to, I guess, carry on in the Commission over the 3 days as they sought to get to the bottom of the truth between this alleged relationship between Sonona and the alleged cartel member Vusimuzi Kat Matlala. As things stand, I don't know how that version will still stand or if it will even be accepted by the Commission's bench, due to the fact that cross-examination was able to identify a number of discrepancies in his testimony.
Here's the detail that makes this even more serious. KZN's police commissioner claimed 5 of the 121 dockets had arrest instructions ready. 5 cases where sufficient evidence had already been gathered to arrest suspects, and the work on those cases was disrupted after the dockets were removed from the unit, according to testimony. What did those files contain? According to allegations, investigations involving politically connected individuals and criminal networks. Critics allege the abrupt decision disrupted investigations and may have benefited politically connected individuals, but that remains an allegation, not a finding. During the radio interview, it was put to Mgwenya that Mchunu had already admitted to key failures, that he didn't consult relevant parties, that he interfered in police operational matters, that he dissolved the unit without conducting a review.
We're a country of laws, we have a constitution, and we're a country that ensures that when we deal with people, whether there are allegations against them or not, those people are dealt with in a fair manner, and that's what the president fundamentally believes in. And in this particular case, he will act when he needs to act against Minister Mchunu.
When he needs to act? He doesn't think he needs to act against Mchunu now, given what he has heard at the commission?
You can hold the view that he must act now. He holds the view that he will act once the commission has concluded its work.
What stops him from acting before the commission concludes its work?
Because he believes that Minister Mchunu must answer to those allegations, and that at the end of the commission's work, the commission will have findings against Minister Mchunu that he can then reference in his action.
The interviewer argued that those actions, by themselves, should justify immediate removal from office. Mgwenya's response: precisely because of that, the minister has been placed on special leave. He is not in charge of any portfolio, including the police. But here's the contrast. Ramaphosa issued an urgent directive to establish a special investigation team to urgently investigate 14 individuals implicated in the commission, including the head of the Hawks in KwaZulu-Natal, Major General Lesetja Senona. Why immediate action against 14 officers, but wait for Mchunu? That's the question everyone is asking. Hlungwani. Sele was a huge error, and here is where Hlungwani drops an additional bombshell. During his parliamentary testimony, he described the appointment of Bheki Cele as police minister as one of the massive mistakes of the democratic era.
So there is no minister. If I have any...
We discussed this, but in terms of the Police Act, the minister appoints the head of the Hawks.
Yeah, that's the only person,
but
according
no
to the
other
law.
appointments
is
you
the
say
only
are
person
made
that
by the
you
minister.
appoint, yes. So that the Hawks. But when it comes to the South African Police Service and all that, that is... so Cele could not then have been appointed Kumal. Even if Cele wanted to appoint Kumal, had to explain to the rest of the ministers that were part of the interministerial, what is this? So the issue of Khumalo, knowing him, whether it's investigator, whether it's in crime situation or crime intelligence, really I wouldn't know. This is a researcher talking. So she can't just research that ministers don't appoint an accomplished researcher. She can't research that and know that ministers don't appoint when it comes to police. So the chairperson, there is even the issue of DTGs. I explained who Lieutenant Generals are. They are DTGs. In government, DTGs are appointed by cabinet. So DTGs, you motivate, you interview, and you submit to cabinet, and the cabinet agrees or disagrees, but not with the police. The commissioner announces in the morning that you are now Lieutenant Colonel. So you are Lieutenant General. And I think when I was a national commissioner and became the minister, I raised it to say I find it far-reaching that a single person can appoint a DTG. DTG is very senior. So if he's appointed by you alone, really he will save his job by respecting you and not doing his job. I think it's even unfair to the DTGs to be appointed in that simplest way and all that kind of thing. Maybe it is on that score that my predecessor, Mbalula, came with the regulations that Commissioner can appoint at the level from Major General in concurrence with the ministers. So that came because there would be many generals around here that you don't know when they came about and all that. But this concurrence does not then stop the commissioner, which is his constitutional and legislative prerogative, to continue and do it. So, coming to appointing Khumalo, when he can't even appoint Masimula, a researcher must know that, especially if it is an accomplished
She claims
researcher.
that you appointed Khumalo also as the head of SAPS Crime Intelligence in 2022.
According to Hlungwani, I do not question the president's authority to appoint a person. It is simply my belief that the man did not have the moral authority to lead such an important democratic institution. Why? Because according to Hlungwani, that period allowed internal divisions to deepen. It allowed crime intelligence to fragment into rival factions, allowed structural problems to take deeper root. And now, years later, Mchunu faces the consequences of those years. But according to Ramaphosa, any decision regarding Mchunu will have to wait until the commission completely finishes its work. The subplot: the war over the secret account. Hlungwani also revealed details about the internal battle for control of resources, specifically the Secret Service account, the classified fund of SAPS.
You seem to believe that this money, this 46 million, is that the correct figure?
45, yes.
45 million for the CREPA.
Yeah.
Was its intention was to fund the ANC conference, correct?
Intelligence operatives, they even have a document, and I think you might have people in the CI. They have a document which points to this particular matter to say it was going to be used to fund this conference. Even Mr. McBride, he came here. He was investigating this thing. He came here to say this was going to be used. The same intelligence operatives.
So a portion of this amount was not going to purchase the CREPA, was going to be taken for ANC conference affairs.
I firmly agree with that.
Do you believe that Mbalula was part of this arrangement?
The statement, which was written by General Stolle, because I never spoke to
General Stolle was acting at the time.
Who was National Commissioner
Who was the
at the
National
time?
Commissioner,
Yes.
yes, yeah.
I'll provide that statement to the committee.
So in summary, the statement of General Stolle implicates Mbalula. He says
Definitely.
he was part of the plan.
Definitely. It says he was approached by Minister Mbalula, and then it goes on and on about
So
it.
Mbalula approached him to inflate prices so that the ANC conference can benefit. Now the question is, was it the ANC conference or an ANC faction that was going to benefit?
I don't know who was going to benefit, but as I said yesterday, individuals within the ANC, not the ANC, because there's never been a moment where the ANC or any of its top 6 officials who, by virtue of being top 6, they represent the ANC. They've never said to me or anybody I know that ANC wants this money for this particular purpose.
Okay. And then you are saying, after now, when you got to Nasrec, ultimately you agreed that you must not carry on with buying this CREPA. After you went to Nasrec and met the people you met there. So And then they said to you, you must pay 9 million for services already rendered, correct?
For services already rendered.
Were those services quantified to you?
Not to my knowledge.
And who said you must pay this 9 million?
It's not 9 million. I think it was about 7 million.
7 million.
Yeah.
Yes.
General Ngobo, okay, first it was General Tumani who said we're going to have to pay this person for the services already rendered.
Yes.
And then...
Did you ask which services?
I don't know.
Let's talk about the rape case opened against General Jacobs. When was that case opened? According to his testimony, in 2017, he was asked to release 45 million rands from the secret account, supposedly to buy a grabber, a surveillance device. But the quoted price of the equipment was significantly less than the amount requested. Hlungwani refused to authorize the payment, and according to him, that refusal marked the beginning of his occupational detriment. He was arrested. He faced a long trial on fraud charges. He was acquitted in the first instance, but then an appeal reinstated the charges, sending the case back to continue. Hlungwani argues the lesson was clear. Opposing misuse of funds can come with consequences. And that raises the question, how many other officials have been silenced in the same way? Let's talk strategy, not just procedure. Ramaphosa says he will wait for the Madlanga Commission to finish. The official explanation is simple. Act too early, without a final report, and any decision can be attacked as rushed, unfair, or legally shaky. But wait for the final findings, and you get a stronger institutional shield, sworn testimony, formal recommendations, and a documented record that can support decisive action. Still, the public question doesn't go away. While the process drags on, does evidence get colder? Do witnesses shift? Do paper trails fade? And here's the contrast that fuels the anger. Ramaphosa did not wait to move on 14 people flagged in the interim process, 9 current or former Ekurhuleni municipal officials, and 5 police officers, including Sinona. The commission pointed to prima facie irregularities, and the presidency moved fast by instructing an investigation team through the acting police minister and the national commissioner. So the question writes itself, why immediate action for 14, but wait for Mchunu? Is it the difference between politicians and officials, or is it political management? That's what the opposition is asking, and it deserves a clear answer. Now zoom out to the deeper problem, crime intelligence. Hlungwani's core claim is that the unit has been unstable for years, driven by factions fighting for control, disputes over operational accounts, and irregular appointments. In plain terms, he is describing an institution that is fractured, where loyalties can outweigh professionalism. And if that's true, the damage is bigger than any one person. Go to the comments right now. Should Ramaphosa wait for the commission's final report, or take intermediate steps immediately? Why move fast on 14, but slow on Mchunu? And do you find Hlungwani's testimony credible, or too thin on proof? Subscribe, like, and share. Because this story doesn't end with statements. It ends with receipts, transparency, and accountability. And we're not going to stop asking until we get them.